Billy Bridges came in, 4-time world champion in sledge hockey, Paralympic champion, got the gold medal. He also has a silver and a bronze as well to go with it. He talked to us about growing up with spina bifida. So amazing foundation for opportunity that was shared there. What were some of your guys' takeaways from the Billy Bridges interview?
I can't even imagine just everything he's been through in his life. You know, the odds were against him from the minute he was born. So he was born, and the way he describes spina bifida is, when you listen to the podcast, is his legs were in the shape of question marks. He had to undergo 10 surgeries.
Yeah.
Like, the odds were against him, and now to say a Paralympian, 5-time Paralympian.
Yeah.
He brought in a bronze medal, silver medal, and a gold medal.
He flexed
he
on
won
us.
at 21.
He flexed, but he
Those
deserves
medals were
it, man.
beautiful, weren't
Oh,
they?
they were amazing.
That was like just such an inspiring story because he loved sport. Someone found him and said, you should join this league. And ever since then, sometimes you need one person to kind of guide you or believe in you. Because he was doing it recreationally for fun. He was skateboarding.
Yeah, that was crazy to hear him talk about that. That's actually part of our Instagram snippet. You guys can go check that out on at FFO Productions. But yeah.
And I was just gonna say, I know Lala touched on it a little bit, but just he talked about like just being able to shed light on opportunities for people with disabilities, and I 100%. Think he touched on a lot about Colleen and her impact on his life growing up, and I think it was funny how he said he was playing outside and she came out and he was expecting her to shout at him, but she came up to him and just simply asked him. He goes like what sports do you play? Like she just wanted to really get to know his story, and I think it spoke to the fact that he told us that he goes now whenever he sees any disabled child, he goes up to him, asks him, because like the reality is a lot of them are receptive once you ask them like, what is your disability? What are you going through? Like they like to know that people care and are willing to hear their story. And I think Colleen was a big inspiration for him because she wanted to hear his story and helped lead him to the opportunity and in many ways led him to be who he is today by shedding light on the opportunities that people with disabilities have in sport.
No, 100%. And I love the fact that he was able to come in and say, hey, look, this is an opportunity. Just because they're not putting it on TV or it's not accessible doesn't mean that you can't go and find your confidence, build that rapport. He said he's built some of the relationships that he was going to have going throughout the rest of his entire life that he's built through sport. And I think that's hyper imperative to really kind of sound off on and underscore, because the fact of the matter is, whenever you belong to a visible minority, especially, people treat you differently. And I think at the core, he's like, just treat me as another human being. Treat me with the dignity and the respect that you would reserve for anybody that's able-bodied or whatnot. At the same time, yes, let's celebrate the fact that disabled people can come in here and make a huge impact, not only from a sports landscape, but from an inspiring landscape. A lot of people are going to listen to that interview or just look at what he's done. Go ahead and check it out if you haven't already. That was one of the most powerful interviews that we had so far.
Hands down. And for me, like one of my favorite parts, but it was unfortunate at the same time, was how when the Olympics were in Salt Lake and he came back to high school, they expelled him for too many absences.
Absolutely crazy.
He was representing the country.
The entire
at the
country.
Paralympic Games.
And yet at the same time, the Olympic athletes at the same school were able to be excused and make up for it.
Is exactly what you just said. Treat me like a normal person.
That's it. And it's really powerful. Honestly, I think that was some of our best work so far. I think all of the work has different feels to it altogether, but this one was really, really powerful because obviously none of us have any kind of a physical disability at this juncture and of our lives. And hearing someone like that makes me feel a lot of hope moving forward for all those, whether you're born with it or through a tragic injury, through some type of an accident of some sort or what have you. There's hope still. There's always reason to go on. And he was talking about the anger that was within him in the aftermath of being expelled for those reasons and dealing with those things, and how, yes, in the short term, it was such an overt negative, but in the long term, it turned into something that he used as fuel to be the best version of himself.